Okay, we ran out of time on the other little video, so we'll have to do the answers to this one on this video. So let's look at question 1. It asks us to draw the pattern that keeps repeating. Okay, where is the pattern? Okay, green, brown, orange, green, brown, orange, green, brown. Okay, so this pattern here, I'll get a black pen. This pattern here keeps repeating. Listen, there it is there, and here it is again, and here it is again, and here it is again, and on and on and on it would go. Okay. What shape will the 17th shape be? Well, so far I've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 12th. I need to know the 13th. I can do this the kind of quickie way, or the non-maths way. I could just draw it out. 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. So what's this one going to be? 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 And I want to know what the 17th one is going to be. Okay, well, I know that this one is going to be a circle, that this one is going to be a square, and that this one's going to be a triangle. This one's going to be a circle, this one's going to be a square. There's the answer to that one. Square. Now, 92nd shape, that's going to be a little bit harder. So I'm going to need to use the maths way for this. So remember what I do. I get my 92, because that's what's asked in the question, and I divide by the number of shapes in the pattern. And how many is in the pattern? 3. So I divide by 3. Now when I do that, I get 30.666 or whatever. That's no good. So I've got to go again, and this time I go with 91. I go down a number. Always go down a number. And try that divided by 3. That will go in 30.333. That's no good. I've got to get it so that this answer is a whole number, right? No decimals. So I go down now. I was at 91. I go down to 90. 90. And I divide that by 3. And when I do that, I get 30. Okay, so I know now where I'm at. The 90th shape is an orange triangle. Yeah? So I've got to get my difference. 92, that was what was asked in the question. Take away 90. What does that leave? It leaves 2. So I'm looking for the 2nd shape. What's the 2nd shape in my pattern? It's a brown box. So that's my answer. My answer is a brown box. Now I'm just going to write the letter B for brown because I don't want to colour it in. Okay, now we need to move on. I hope you did well in those questions. Yeah, well done if you did. But we're going to start on linear number patterns now. So these are patterns that involve numbers rather than shapes. You saw in those previous the previous video we were talking about shapes and colors, but now we look at numbers because numbers can make patterns too. So linear number patterns are patterns that involve numbers. Okay, linear means that they change by the same amount each time. Because they involve numbers, they are called a sequence. So that's the official name for them. We call them a sequence. For example, here's a sequence here. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And we could go on if we wanted. Okay, but there's the sequence. Now, each number in the sequence is called a term. So this is the first term. Now, let's keep it short. We'll call it term 1 or T1. This is the second term, so we'll call that T2, term 2. This is the third term, so we'll call that T3. And this is the fourth term, and this is the fifth term. Can you guess what the sixth term will be? Well, let's see. Each term is connected to the next by a repeating difference. Let's see if we can find this difference. What's actually going on to our numbers here? We've got 6, we've got 9, we've got 12, we've got 15, we've got 18. We need to work out what the difference is. What's happening each time to these numbers? What does it take to go from 6 to 3, and from 6 to 9, and from 9 to 12, and from 12 to 15, and from 15 to 18. Yep, we're adding on 3 each time. Nope, adding on 3, adding on 3, adding on 3. And if we wanted to get the term 6, we would have to add on 3. So what's 18 plus 3? 21. Next would be 24. Next would be 27. So once you find the difference is really key. Once you've gotten that, you can really work out any of the terms. So I could keep going and working out term 7, term 8. I've already done that. I could go all the way up. It would take me a long time, but I could go all the way up to, let's say, term 100. Now, it would take a very long time because I have to keep writing it out, and, you know, but that's the long way of doing it, because once you know the first term, our first term in this case was 6, and the difference, our difference is 3, between the terms, you can find any term by doing what I was doing there. So, let's say if I wanted to get to, maybe term 100 now might be a bit optimistic, but let's say I want to find term 15. I would have to find term 9, I'd have to get term 10, term 11, term 12, term 13, and term 14. Okay, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. That's going to be 30, that's going to be 33, that's going to be 36, that's going to be 39, that's going to be 42, that's going to be 45, 48. So you just have to write it out. Now the problem, of course, will arrive if I do ask for something like, can you tell me what term 100 is? Now we're going to have to come up with a different method. And this is where there's a bit of maths involved. Let's have a look at this one. This is the same sequence now, but I'm just going to ask some questions. Find the 20th term of the sequence above. The 20th. Now, as it stands, what do we have? Let's just box this off here. We have got term 1, we have the second term, we have the third term, we have the fourth term, and we have the fifth term. They want to find the 20th term if we keep following the same pattern. So like we already figured out, it's going up by 3 each time. Each time is going up by 3. Okay, so we can use 2 different methods. Let's look at the first method, method 1. This is the long way. This is the way that I was already doing. So you have to list it out until you get there, basically. So there's term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6, and they want to go all the way up to term 20. So I'm going to need to list it all out. Here we go. You ready? 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48. I'm adding 3 each time, remember. 51, 54, 57, 60. And the answer is 63. There's the answer. Okay, we got there eventually. But I had to do all this myself, this green box, this big long green box. And I had it written before this video started, but if you were given a question like that, you would have to draw that box and do what I've just done, which is count up to 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and all the way up. So there's a bit of work involved in that. It's quite a longish way. There's a second method, method 2, okay? And it's a quicker, mathsy way of doing it. What do you have to do this one? You simply add the first term. What's our first term? Here it is here. Term 1, the first term was 6, so let's put down 6. You have to add that, so plus, to the difference times the terms remaining. Okay, let's figure this out. What was the difference again? What's the difference between each of these numbers for this sequence? It was 3, wasn't it? And we have to multiply that difference, multiply it by the terms that are remaining to get to the term you've been asked to find in the question. Now, we've been asked to find the 20th term. So we're already at term 1. How many remain until we get the term 20? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Or in other words, the one you've been asked in the question, take away 1, because we already are at the first term. So it's going to be 3 by the terms remaining, which is 19 terms remaining. That is 6 plus 3 by 19 is 57. Your answer there, 63. Which you will see I already got up here. But this is a much quicker way of doing it. Okay? And there is the trick. You add the first term to, so there's our first term being added to the difference multiplied by the terms remaining. Okay? That's a little quick trick to do it. Now you're going to try some of these. You're going to pause the video and give these a go. So here's a sequence of numbers. Okay, pause the video now in a moment. Here's a sequence of numbers. You have to first of all find the common difference. So what's the difference between each of these numbers? What's it changing by? It's changing by the same amount each time. Okay? When you've done that, then I want you to find the 20th term and then the 30th term. And of course, remember I said a moment ago, this is the quick way of doing it. It's going to take you a long time if you decide to do it with this way. 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, blah, 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 blah. And keep in mind which term you're at. You know, you're going to have to write down term, so you're going to have to keep track of that as well. So it's a much longer way. I would prefer it if you did it the way I've just shown you, the maths way. Okay? Because like I could have said, find the 100th term. And that would take up your whole copy to find that using the slow way. So use the maths way. It's written over here. Get your first term. Take a look at this list now. Which is the first term? Get your first term and add it on to. And then in brackets, the difference by the terms remaining. So in this case, it's going to be 19. And in this case, it's going to be 29. Okay, pause the video. See how you get on, and then play when you're finished and see if you got it right. Okay, let's continue on. I presume you gave it a go. What's the common difference, first of all? What are these numbers changing by each time? What's the difference between them? Let's see. 2 to 6, what's that? Oh, you're adding 4. 6 to 10, what's that? Yeah, you're adding 4. Okay, it's always best to check them all, just to make sure you're right. So the difference is 4. Now you can say plus 4 if you want. Maybe that's more accurate. Okay, plus 4. Now what's the 20th term? Well, to figure out these big long terms, I get my first term. Remember, over here, it's written here. First term, which is 2. Oops. Oops, where am I going? I don't know what happened there. First term, which is 2, plus the difference, which I've just worked out is 4, by the terms remaining, the remaining terms. That would be 19, wouldn't it? Why does that keep happening? I don't know. Better be quick here. So 2 plus 4 by 19 gives me, what's that? 40, 76, 78? And this one, it would be 2 plus 4 by 29. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh. Start normally. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, there's something wrong with this computer, so I'm just going to finish up. There's the two answers. Okay, 78 and 118. Now I'm going to try and work it out, but if this, yeah, it's going off. Okay, that's it.